Hello, it's Kyle Marshaku, here QL's entity that pretends to be your equal. Thank you for joining my stream. If you guys aren't aware, liking the YouTube stream helps the stream get noticed by more people, so please do that if you're on the YouTube side of things. If you're on the Twitch side of things, I don't know, just chill or say hi. Also, I've been releasing Cinemod Fallout with my beloved partner Kira on the YouTube channel Kyle Marshaku. Please check that out if you get the chance. We're finally releasing our Honest Hearts episodes. I've been trying to edit more of the footage, but it's been a little difficult just because there's so much and there's so much going on. I constantly have projects, I have a day job, the world is ending, stuff like that. I'd ask how you guys are doing, but honestly, I'm not doing that great. Some of you may have heard about the news, and which news about internet censorship going on right now, and it's patently obvious that the whole thing is like a coordinated effort. I don't consider myself what I would call a conspiracy theorist, but some conspiracies are just real, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the big payment processors like MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, and Stripe all at the same time just decided that adult content was illegal to purchase. They just decided that, by the way. No one made them do that. There was accusations towards this Australian hate group, but honestly, I think that was just an excuse. It's not a great hate group. Like, it's not big in size. But it's also Australian. Who cares about what the Australian far right thinks? You know what I mean? Yeah, no, it's honestly scary. At the same time, the United Kingdom, Britain, has decided that they want to do this draconian law to prevent all children from being on the internet. They say they want to restrict adult stuff, but it's all bull crap. They consider Wikipedia to be adult because, oh no, it might teach children what the birds and the bees are. Oh no. As if they weren't supposed to be learning that from school, in a responsible way, but still. It's just like, it's obviously like, America, sorry, I should mention America is also considering passing one right now. There is literally a bill in the works to do basically the same thing that Britain did. And the only reason it's being held up is because our pedo president is being accused of being on the pedo list where all the pedos are. And he is currently being protected by his pedo congressman. And meanwhile, the autocrats in Britain are trying to say that, oh, actually, if you oppose these efforts, you're the pedo. You know what? No, I'm sick of playing this game. If you misuse the word pedo to just apply to anyone that doesn't want to do your draconian measures to erode the freedoms that we have had over the past century in a lot of these countries, you're the pedo. Like, literally, when someone goes, oh, well, we're just trying to protect children, what they really mean is get off our turf. They're just trying to consolidate the amount of children they can harm. Anyway, so yeah, things are kind of bleak right now. It's looking like they don't care about the children. It's all just an attempt to try to de-anonymize the internet. That's the actual goal. That's why all this stuff is happening now, coordinated. There are some companies behind the scenes that are colluding because they want to get all your data. They want to work with countries to do it. The countries are all too happy to do it. There's this weird Ofcom agency thing, this non-government entity that Britain is outsourcing their data harvesting to. And yeah, they want you to get literally like biometrics and facial recognition. It's just it's tyrannical. It's terrible. But yeah, I don't want to rant about this all day. I don't know. I felt like I had to acknowledge this. There's just, my prediction is a couple years in the future, you're basically going to have a license to get on the internet. They're not going to let you on the internet unless you have a license, and getting around it will become increasingly difficult. And that's kind of terrifying. It also means children will be sheltered. Now, is the goal really to prevent children from seeing bad things on the internet? Or is the goal to prevent children from getting involved in politics and being radicalized by communicating and seeing the nature of the world? Is this actually about protecting children from seeing bad things? Or is it about making sure they exclusively only see the bad things their parents are doing to them? I guess we will have to see. Anyway, yeah, I guess let's just get into it. Chat seems to be a little dead at the moment, which is unfortunate. I hope people are able to see this. Kira, can you verify whether anyone is seeing this? Just give me a moment for my partner to respond. All right, well, let's just move on then. So, last time I talked about Has Been Hotel. I talked about why I felt like that show really meant a lot to me, and what I felt like of the way it decided to interpret the idea of heck. That's what I'm going to be calling it for this stream. You know, HE double hockey sticks, YouTube reasons, and also personal reasons. Just let me get away with not calling it by its proper name. Okay, thank you. But yeah, so their interpretation of heck was interesting to me, and I described this in the last stream. The reason was because I was also working on a story based on that. And that's why I kind of held off on Has Been Hotel as well as the companion show Heck of a Boss for a while, because I was working on my own book and I didn't want to get like any wires crossed or ideas tainted between the two. And so I worked on my own book, and I was going to make another point, but I forgot what it was. I started thinking about Has Been Hotel. It's a good show, but like some of the choices they made with the world are definitely not what I envisioned. Mine was based more off of Dante's Inferno, classical epic poem. Not sure if you guys have read it. I wouldn't exactly recommend it. It's my story is kind of critical of Dante's Inferno. I feel like Dante's Inferno was kind of just a tabloid of its day. Like, okay, sure, maybe it's written as a masterpiece, but like, there's a lot of gossip in there. It's like, oh yeah, the pride. Yeah, pride is where the anti-pope is. Like, okay, dude, I get it. You're very Christian. Good for you. Anyway, so yeah, I wrote my own story, and I think what I really wanted to do was explore the concept of what an afterlife divided between heaven and heck would actually look like, what that would actually be like. And in my opinion, it's completely unjust as a concept. And so I wanted to write that. Has Been Hotel I do like, but I feel like it takes the concept of heck and is kind of silly with it, to be honest. I have previously called Has Been Hotel liminal, and it's a strange choice, I'll admit, but I stand by it because I think there's this kind of liminality in like an afterlife ending, and then just your life ending, and you move on to the afterlife, and the afterlife is just more life. For the same reason, I would describe the animated show Futurama as liminal, because while it takes place 1,000 years in the future, it's just more now. There's just robots and stuff, but it's very 2000s if you watch it. Kira says, hold on, did you actually read Dante's Inferno? Not the whole thing, but I did a bunch of research for my book. Also, I had some familiarity with it before. He also did Paradiso. A lot of people forget about that one, where you did like the same thing but with heaven. And that one was just kind of Christian sycophantry. And Inferno, like, I don't know, there's something kind of strange with a lot of like conservative cultures. And I would put Christianity as a conservative culture, generally anyway. But there's this interesting thing where they kind of fetishize the darker aspects of their mythology and belief system. I'm reminded of how the Nazis had a museum of what they called degenerate art, and that was actually more popular than their other museums, because of course it was. Now, I wouldn't say that all Christians are Nazis, of course, but I do think that Nazis are conservative. They're just very conservative. Anyway, let's move on to my book. I'm not going to like read the whole book. I'm just going to kind of talk about it, talk about some of the ideas I had. I guess my younger self would be worried about like copyright, do not steal, but for everything else that's going wrong in our world, copyright law is pretty big. So if you steal my book, I guess I have recourse for that. So I'll feel free to share it, at least in bits. I do have it written. I am currently trying to send it to literary agents to try to get it published. So this is an active work in progress. The book is done, but how many revisions you have to write till you can actually get it on shelves, who knows? It's quite laborious to try to find an agent that actually wants to take a risk on you. And it's pretty much the only way to get published unless you already have connections, which I don't because I am not a millionaire or a Democratic politician. Okay, so I want to switch over. All right. So, my story is called The Corruption of Heck. Now, one thing you might notice is that it's about 252,000 words. So I just wrote my story not really caring about genre conventions. I honestly don't really respect genre conventions. I think a good story can defy them, can ascend beyond them, transcend them, I should say. But obviously, genres are still a tool for categorization. Even if I didn't respect them, mine still had to fall under some genre, right? Especially when I was pitching it to literary agents. So I wrote a book that I felt was a good book. I like my book. I like the story. And I ended up having to, after it was done, trying to figure out what the genre was. And the way I call it is infernal romantasy. Romantasy is a genre that's become big relatively recently, and it's just combining romance and fantasy. And it's a fantasy story. It's just the fantasy world they're going through is based on heck, so infernal romantasy. And there is romance, although it's very queer. It's a very queer story. There's a lot of like polycule stuff. I kind of do that trope of like you go through a video game world and you recruit companions as you go, Chrono Trigger style, except the main character bangs them all. Because like life is too short to not have a little bit of intimacy, a little bit of not safe for work stuff, which is another reason I can't just read this book for you. Sadly, I think I might have missed my chance to really get this book published, or at least get more people biting on it. I started writing this book in the first Trump administration, so I was in a very dark place as like things were going really poorly, and then eventually the pandemic. And things looked like they might get better after that with the Biden administration, but that did not pan out. And now we're in a second Trump administration. American democracy, fascism, the economy, everything's up for grabs. And yeah, I feel like now with all the what I call the sexy prohibition that's happening but that's just kind of the cover for de-anonymizing the internet, is going to result in adult content being kind of a premium content, a sort of taboo commodity, which might prevent me from getting published in the traditional way. We'll see. I'll keep trying. But one stumbling block I was not anticipating coming across is this word count. So apparently, genre conventions determine the page count, and a romantasy is approximately 90,000 words on average. So I think one of the reasons I've been getting rejected so far is because my book is just so much bigger than the average. And it's unfortunate because I built it with a sort of like epicness in mind. And with the structure, it doesn't really lend well towards... Oh, this is very, very serious music. It doesn't really lend towards splitting up because each of the chapters is named after one of the levels of heck. And because, you know, heck is often described as being in like a series of descending levels, and I've done that in my chapter structure. Trilogies do happen, so as of right now, I'm still waiting to hear back from one, but all the others have rejected me. So once I hear back from that one, I'm probably going to just split this into 3 books and have it be my own trilogy. And, you know, if I'm lucky, maybe it can be my own Hunger Games, Divergent, something, who knows. Although those are like YA, aren't they? Mine would be regular A. Or NA? NA's a new thing. New adult. Regardless, I'm hoping that if I can just cut it down, then agents won't be scared off by the big number and will read the intro and at least give it a chance, and then maybe we can have a discussion about it. That's where I'm at. All right, let me talk about the actual book now. I'll just read a little bit at the beginning. I can't get too into it because it gets spicy really quickly. Part of my idea is that this book covers, the seven deadly sins, the things of heck. It's edgy, it's dark. Um, but my central thesis is that within even the darkest places, you can find a bit of hope, a bit of escape, a chance to make things different. It's about not giving up, no matter how existentially terrifying everything is. But one of those things is lust. So yeah, sex comes up. So I won't get to those naughty bits because I have to worry about the platforms I am streaming on. Nevertheless, let's get into it. The Corruption of Heck by Kyle Marchiku, Chapter 1, Prologue. And I have a little quote after each chapter, or the beginning. Heck cannot be real, for if it was, what would life be but a staging area, a rigged purity test that functioned only as a cruel prelude of suffering that would be followed by an afterlife of infinite suffering? What would heck be but just infinitely more life? So you can see I'm kind of pulling on that like liminality, right? I'll just read a bit of it. Do I have like a good reading emote state? Let me see. You know what? I like the happy face. Actually, is happy? I don't really have like a reading one, unfortunately. I like my book. I'm happy to read it. Let's do the happy one. Had I known that today was the last day of my life, I would have stayed in bed. Instead, I awoke to my phone buzzing on the table adjacent to my bed. I lifted my head spitefully, eyeing the device that had interrupted my sleep, as if it would apologize if I glared long enough. I shoved my face back into my pillow, trying to block out the disturbance. When the buzzing subsided, I looked towards the phone once again, where I noticed the displayed time on the antiquated alarm clock on the same end table. It read 6:58 a.m. Great. Just great. I had been awoken early enough to feel like precious minutes of sleep had been stolen from me, but late enough that it would be impossible for me to reclaim any more before the inevitable disruption. I smashed my face into the pillow yet again, trying to will my body into passing out, anything to stave off the coming day. I waited, I groaned. It was no use. At that, I stretched my arm over to the alarm clock, deciding to prematurely turn it off to spare my ears the second annoyance. With that minor accomplishment, I rolled out of bed, as if I had been pressed into it by some industrial machine, less getting up out of bed as opposed to having limbs fall off the side and reassemble themselves into the posture of a barely standing human being. My lethargy reminded me of how exhausting last night had been, though I never sleep particularly well anyway. I didn't stand for long, gently falling back down onto my bleep and the bed. I picked up my phone to figure out who had ensured my morning started with such a reluctant jolt. I saw immediately. It read, "Why don't you answer your bleeping phone? I'm almost home. The place better be ready, babe. Honestly, how the bleep do you function without me? See you soon." My stomach sank and I closed my eyes to stop the words. It was him. Of course it was. All right. I think that's good for the intro bit. So, I started off with a bit of verbiage. I hope it works out well. I don't by any means think it's perfect. I'm hoping I can tell a really good story and that my writing acumen is at least decent enough to carry that story across. So I'm going to skip ahead to later in the prologue. She is sleeping with another woman, and that was her husband, who is kind of a jerk. So she drives to work. The last driver drove an expensive-looking truck, quite a beast of a thing, painted in painted an ostentatious color of green, with decals adorned. It was not a truck I could have ever forgotten, as I had lived that truck seemingly every other week these days, depending on his scheduled trips for business. Actually, let me change the Homestuck music. It's too jaunty. There we go. The face had a scowl upon it, with the lips raised enough that I could see the clenched teeth, and the eyebrows were arched in the way that always told me when I should find a way to make myself smaller. This was the face of my husband as he slammed into me. Everything went black. I heard only the sound of what I imagined flashbang grenades to sound like when detonated next to your skull. But I could feel smashing, spinning, rolling. Why had he been driving so recklessly? What was he angry about this time? Why the had he been crossing this intersection in the first place? These questions and more raced through my head as I tried to understand the misery of my existence. I hadn't thought he would literally be the end of me, but then another question made its proposition in the back of my mind. Why can't I breathe? I realized I was lying sideways somehow. Was I T-boned? Something had punctured me. Breathing wasn't impossible, but it was difficult. I tried to breathe. This can't be it, I thought. Warm liquid poured into my lungs. I tried to hack it out. The world was still dark. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. I could still hear vehicles moving, but I heard no voices. None. I was alone. I was alone. Was anyone? Is he? I gasped, then gurgled, breathing hard. It hurt. It hurt so much. It hurt. It hurt. It hurt for so long. And then I stopped feeling anything at all. And this is how she dies. Chapter 2, Purgatory. Let's get freaky with it. So yeah, I do the thing where I kill my character off at the beginning of the story, but she comes back because this is a story about the afterlife. By its very concept, heaven, as a gated community, must be defined similarly to all gated communities, more by the supposed sins of the excluded than the post hoc virtues of the included. So she ceases to be, and then she ceases to be even that. And she comes back, and she is like reconstructed in purgatory, and then she is faced with judgment. And in her judgment, she's basically deemed for lust. The idea is that she is meant to be a sympathetic character. Yes, she cheated on her husband. That is a sin. She has committed adultery. They even list the number of times that she did it. And it's a lot of times, but there's the context that her husband was emotionally abusive, neglectful, and just downright terrible. It's unfortunate that there are some people that abuse is a no-go for story context, but the husband isn't actually present here. It's just that she carries this abuse with her through her next life, which in my opinion is actually a really common experience. Saying to write a story about a woman who hasn't suffered abuse is like trying to ask for coffee without a coffee bean, in my opinion, at least in the modern day. It's unfortunate, but true. So yeah, she ends up getting condemned for lust, and she decides to, instead of taking her punishment, she jumps off. She then is ferried, because she's considered a jumper. She lands in Sloth. She has to then manually walk down to the level she's assigned to. And that's kind of the setup for the story. Kind of like Virgil in Dante's Inferno. She ends up having to go layer by layer by layer and seize the atrocities along the way. But because she's just one sinner, they don't really care if she survives the journey. It's all about procedure and policy, where you're supposed to be. So she's kind of like a wandering renegade or an immigrant, to be honest. And so I have my own versions of what I felt like the different levels were like. Each one is based off of one of the seven deadly sins, which is based off of Dante's Inferno. Though I consolidated it, he had like 9 levels, and there were like sub levels, and it was just a bit much. So I decided to simplify things. In fact, I have some pictures here. So this is Sloth. She ends up landing here, her fall cushioned by a heckling angel named John, who has to make sure she gets to where she's supposed to be. And the idea is that Sloth Sloth is where all of the faithless go. If you died but you weren't a believer of an Abrahamic faith, you didn't believe in heaven or God, then you come down here. If you were indigenous or if you believe in some other religion, if you were atheist, agnostic, you end up here. It also includes people that are just lazy and centrists as well, people that are undecided and don't have strong beliefs or convictions. So one of the things I have in my story is I have like a system of corruptions. That's why it's called the corruption of heck. It's a double entendre for both the political system being corroded, but also for people's physical souls being corroded, which manifests on their physical forms. One of the defining features of my story is that you cannot die a second time. You just can't. Your body can get mangled, it can get torn, it can get shred, but it still lives. No matter what you endure, you are alive, or you feel at least. Your soul continues. Your soul, your new body is made of your soul. And the corruption of sloth is that they just wither away because they don't care anymore. Their flesh falls apart until they are nothing but skeleton. The corrupted of sloth are skeletons. And the main character, she ends up going by the name Angel. Yes, this is the same name from Cinema and Fallout. Name so good I used it twice. But she does this in a way to kind of mock John, and it's her way of saying, "Actually, I'm the good one, not you. You angels are demons. I am the pious one," type of thing. But she meets a skeleton named Charon, yes, named after the Greek myth, and the big point of Sloth is like trying to find the humor in the absurdity of existence. She realizes that the beyond is quite absurd, and so she kind of revels in that and convinces Charon to give a crap. After that, there's like a lower part of that separates Sloth from the underground. Sloth is called Limbo, so it's kind of like this is the first level of Heck. If you're here, your afterlife is boring, not tormentous. But if you want to get to Heck proper, you have to go through the River of Screams, based on the river Styx. But this river is an entire level unto itself with mathematical proportions that don't make sense. The water is called Soul Water because it's filled with the souls of the drowned. Basically, imagine like a cup of water, except there's nothing but screaming faces inside of it. Anyway, Sharon has to navigate Angel through this. They get a bit close. They have some intimacy. It's called bone play. Basically, her sin is lust. She's condemned for lust, and so she decides that, maybe in a new life away from her husband, she can embrace herself and not have to like hide and skirt around in the dark. Bone play. So, yep, eventually she moves on down to greed, and greed is capitalism. Like I kind of play it off as a joke that Sharon's like, "Oh my goodness, what is this place?" And she's just like, "Oh, actually, this is really familiar. This is a lot like the waking world." And he's like, "What has befallen the waking world?" So yeah, like most of it is the big city of greed. There's the fringes, and then you have the wall on the outside. Kira says, "You're only saying that word to make me mad." Oh, bone play? Yes, I am, sweetie. But look, it's consensual. Everything's above board. Anyway, so greed is probably one of the bleakest parts of this story, just in terms of how it relates to reality. Effectively, to survive here, you have to have money, and money is sold in gold, silver, and bronze coins. And so she has to work a 9 to 5. She has to get a job. She tries to get a job with Sharon, but no one's willing to hire a skeleton. So there's a lot of like conflict as capitalism and greed pit these two against each other, where Angel's trying to make ends meet and to give them a life to survive here because they're not able to move on further. There's a angels come down to visit to make sure people stay in line. There's also fallen angels here, so it's very policed. Fallen angels are effectively the cops. But so yeah, so there's that frustration where Angel's trying to make things work, and Sharon is trying, but Sharon's been failing. Sharon fails repeatedly because again, no one wants to hire him. What Angel ends up having to do is she turns to sex work. It's the only way she's able to make ends meet and get by. And I felt like that was a very realistic depiction of sex work, if I may toot my own horn. she ends up kind of like becoming a bit more notable, going from like street sex worker to like almost like concubine, meeting some of the really powerful people of greed. But in so doing, things get really worse for her. It's a temporary rise before a greater fall, and they end up having to try to flee towards the fringes, where they find the slave labor camps that are constantly fixing and rebuilding the wall. Um, Eventually, you find out. Oh, she makes a friend, by the way. His name is Theof, a trans man who works in HR, and he was condemned here for a gambling addiction. Um, the joke with his character is he thinks that if he goes through the proper channels, maybe I shouldn't say joke, motif. He thinks if he goes through the proper channels that he can like fix things the right way, and so that's why he ends up joining them on their journey down, because he wants to talk to the management of Heck. Uh, they find out that the corrupted of greed are statues. They become made of gold, silver, and bronze. All of the currency of greed are actually the fragments of people's bodies and souls by extension. They're only able to even proceed when Theof gives up his silver hand as the toll payment. Then we have gluttony. This far down, things have started to get colder. This is the cold level of Heck. It is constantly filled with snow and ice and icicles. There is only one angel who hangs out around the stairwell, because you go down through a spiral golden staircase. Only one angel, and they take frequent shifts because they just can't stand to be here. And the entire place is bifurcated between two definitions of gluttony. Because it turns out there are two very different kinds of people that are condemned for gluttony, because heaven doesn't see a distinction. If you are fat, if you are gluttonous, if you are overweight, if you are obese, you get condemned for gluttony. You indulge too much. But also, cannibalism. If you literally eat people, that's also considered a gluttonous act. My point with this level was to kind of talk about like how gluttony can be a legitimately bad thing. Cannibalism is bad, usually at least, I guess. But also how gluttony is often used to shame people that did literally nothing wrong. So they try to go to the fat town at first because, yeah, the people there are chubby, but they're all nice. They're all building up. They have a barrier to try to survive the cold and huddle together and make like their little commune. And it's great. But the corruption of gluttony is becoming a beast. Uh, the more the more flesh you eat, the more you corrupt of gluttony, the more animalistic traits you get. And every now and then they come and raid the fat town and they hunt them and drag people away. When they're inevitably forced to go to the cannibal town because of a resulting raid, they find that the cannibal town is actually democratically run. They have a series of districts and representatives. They are currently led by a governor, Governor Sater, a big goat man who talks about how it is their human right to be able to consume the flesh of others. It is part of their culture, and it's not their fault that they are simply top of the food chain. They say this after butchering a lot of people. Literally, the meat on their burgers still writhes. It is a horror show. It is terrifying. But the main characters come as like diplomats to try to like get some type of camaraderie between the towns. They appeal to the cannibals' nature, or I would say affected nature of being civilized. It is a trope in media for cannibals to actually be like super civilized and stuff. I have complained about that before. My version of things wasn't just some abstract general concept of suburbia. My imagination was they do this barbaric practice, but because they say they have democracy, they act like that makes them civilized, even though it's a hollowed version of democracy that is skewed by an electoral college. And honestly, like it's just an allegory for carnivorism. They treat the other people as like a different species that are capable of being eaten. They treat them as lesser. Uh, they they don't even have to eat. Like they could just not eat people, but they do it anyway. All of the arguments they use to eat people are the same arguments that we in real life use to eat animals. So the friend they make here is a partial fox girl named Inami, and she's trying to reform the place. She ends up running in an election against another person after Seder is mysteriously killed. And she basically runs as a sort of vegan, but making an anti-cannibalism argument. Uh, it doesn't end up working, unfortunately. Well, okay, it's mixed success. I don't. I guess I shouldn't probably spoil everything in my book. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But I really like the character of Anami. Her backstory is that she was not condemned for being a cannibal, but she lives in the cannibal town. And you might be like, well, why? Why does she live there? When she died, a group a group of people were stranded, and they drew straws to do survival cannibalism. She just got unlucky and drew the first straw, so she was eaten. Technically, she never ate anyone in life. She wasn't condemned here for being a cannibal, she was condemned for being fat. But when given the choice of which town to go to from the stairwell, she went to the cannibal town because she still views herself as a cannibal because she was willing to do it. And she doesn't think it's fair. She she has a lot of self-loathing. There's even a scene when like the election's not going too well. She starts stress eating brain parfaits. By the way, I had to do so many searches for like foods to make out of the human body. I am on some lists. I will say that much. Anyway, we'll move on. Then after that, we have Lust. This is the level that Angel was supposed to go to. The majority of the level is taken up by a puritanical city that's run by angels. This is the furthest south angels will go in Heck, because they believe that the sinful and lustful can have their souls redeemed, or at least that's what they say. Redemption is extremely rare, but it's basically an attempt to control people. These people live miserable lives, but people will leave the city, and because there's only so many angels. Actually, yeah, there's only so many angels. There's one angel that's like a higher rank. Like there's a hierarchy of angels, but you have these rings. And I'm kind of trying to do some like social commentary here on like progressivism. As you leave the puritanical city, you you start getting open to more possibilities. And the intimate ring, you're allowed to kiss each other and stuff. Wow. And the risky ring, you're allowed to like get up to like, sexy stuff. And the naughty ring, you could even be gay. And the steamy, and you get the point. It gets more and more extreme. Um, and so there's this kind of thing where they leave the puritanical city seeking greener pastures, a nicer place to settle down for their afterlives, or something along those lines. And every time there's just still a kernel of bigotry. People move to adjacent like links in the chain, but they're still holding on to that core puritanicalness. The intimate ring says like, okay, look, we're not like the puritanical city. We allow you to like kiss and hug and stuff, but we're not like degenerates like the risky ring. So that's kind of the dynamic of moving adjacent steps. Eventually you get to a point with the kinky ring where the kinky ring claims to be the most just. You might be like, well, Kyle, I can see clearly there's another hardcore ring over here. Wouldn't they be the most just? Well, you see this chasm of consent. At a certain point, there is a point of no return. There is going too far in a colloquial sense. The chasm of consent is this infinite plane because all the levels of Heck are infinite. They literally go out to infinity. And it's said that predators, pedos, and violators of consent are what roam these chasms. Like the corruption of lust is becoming a deviant or a succubus or an incubus, and chasm of consent is said to have the worst of them. The hardcore ring, there's only a couple of people here actually, but they say that they're the most base. They went up to the chasm of consent and stopped. So they include the maximum amount of freedom without any of the harms that might come by going beyond it. The kinky ring, however, says that they actually did that. The hardcore ring is just the first ring of the chasm of consent. Steamy Ring says the same of Kinky. Naughty says that of Steamy. Risky says that of Naughty. Intimate says that of Risk. And the Puritanical City says they're all degenerates. So this is the kind of vibe I was going for. A sort of like, how far is too far? What does it even mean to be too far? Can like what like how woke is woke, I guess. I guess the word woke wasn't really in popular usage when I started the book, but whatever. And she ends up making friends, the Angel, as well as her entourage, now her family. uh, they end up making friends with a member of the hardcore ring, a succubus named Freya, or Freya, I should say. And she's pretty great, but her whole thing is that she engages in like some hardcore kinks that other people don't like, like a blood kink. And not only that, one of the most painless ways to destroy your body is to be consumed by a deviant. Because you literally just get like atomized and your soul gets absorbed into them. Much like if you drink soul water, you absorb the souls of the people you drink. With intimacy with a succubus, you can put the dots together. And that's considered unethical because it's effectively a form of like assisted suicide, or at least the closest thing that passes for it in the afterlife. So the fact that she actively engages these services, like when they meet her, she's like, there's this guy who's like half mauled, and so she bangs him and thereby gives him an end to his suffering. But one of the big switcheroos, I guess, one of the big points of conflict is that she's clearly a succubus. They all call her an incubus. She is trans. This is why she is pushed to the extreme, nearly to the chasm of consent. And that's not by her choice, that's through exclusion. So the big conflict that happens here while they're in lust is trying to get rid of this ring system entirely. They end up like having to recruit people, and it turns out a lot of people in the earlier rings aren't actually that judgmental. They were just kind of told to be enrolled with it. So there's kind of this big protest movement instead of any type of revolution that ends up changing things in lust. Beyond that, we have envy. I was saying I might split my story into a trilogy. I was thinking the first one might end at lust, and the second one would pick up with envy. And envy, everything is twilight, because like gluttony was very cold, full of ice. Lust was full of like mist. And we've gone to the point of envy where things are actually quite warm. We're starting to get down to the hot levels, but it's also kind of dark. There's not much light beyond the stairwell. And there's just this labyrinth earth that's just been carved out from a million bugs crawling around. But those bugs are not normal bugs, they are people. The corruption of envy is to become bug-like. And which bug you become, it depends on which colony you're in. Everyone hates the spider colony, calling them anarchists, but they're actually kind of the most based one. Whereas the bee and ant colonies, which are considered more successful, well, they're very monarchistic. The point of envy is that each one of the colonies has a treasure trove, and each one wants to steal from the other. There's a twist partway through, which I suppose I'll share because it tells you what I'm going for here. Every vault that each colony has, they are all empty of actual treasure. They tend to fill them with other things, but they don't have treasure. It's all a lie. They're all fighting over nothing. They are all envious. I spend most of the time with the bee colony and the spider colony to really distinguish the two. The point is that the bee colony is militaristic. I kind of go for a sort of Rojava thing, where the bee colony is old America, neoliberal America, and the spider colony is like kind of like Rojava. Not explicitly, but anarchisty, right? And the idea is these two have to make an alliance. And even though it's an alliance with an evil faction that you don't want to be allied with, it is the unfortunate, necessary sacrifice towards a greater peace within an active warring situation. Oh, I also introduced the concept of drones here, where the leads of each colony have drone baby copies of themselves. So they end up befriending one of them who comes with them, and that is Anarche 42, the 42nd clone. Whereas the bee colony has thousands of them and just churns through them. After that, we have Wrath, and this is where the demons come from. It's also where the fallen angels reside. This place is a penal colony. If you ever did murder, I forgot to say what people got. Lust is obvious, but like envy was for like people that are like thieves and stuff. But Wrath is where you go for if you killed someone. If you ever killed someone and it wasn't like justifiable in any way, if you ever did a murder, then this is where you go. There's an enclave of where the fallen angels oversee everything. They're like the prison guards, and then you have all of the prisoners, all the different populations in the different districts. And if you commit to being murdery, then you become a demon, which is why a lot of the henchmen, the ones that work for the fallen angels, are demons. They even wear red bands. I'm obviously going for a sort of a fascistic type of thing here. One of the higher fallen angels is even called Caliber, whose whole thing is just being really happy to hunt down some criminal terrorists or whatever his justification has to be. This one, they end up having to kind of do a straight up rebellion and try to take over. They end up rallying all the districts and try to take over the enclave, and it's a very bloody fight. One of the things that here is it's total darkness. We're so far down that the light of heaven barely even reaches. The enclave has some lighting, but out here, no. This is probably the most gory level of all. There's just blood and guts everywhere. When you're out here in the darkness, it's total darkness with only the stairwell lighting behind you, and there's just the constant pitter-patter of blood. And then we have the final level, Pride. The seventh sin, but the sixth level, because if you remember, Sloth was above ground. So you have here the stairwell, underpass, the shore of anguish. This is the center, and then you have the shoreline. Out here, beyond the shore, is just magma. This level is infinite like all the others, but because beyond a point it's all magma, there's only a finite amount of space to stand on. The corrupted of this level are doppelgangers. They are shapeshifters. They are people whose flesh is malleable like that of slime. And everyone's summoned here, and they get pushed off. So this area here, the center, is like privileged area. Effectively, it is a colony. This is where the devils, the overseers of Heck, the management of Heck lives. And all of the natives are pushed out and forced to live on the shore next to the magma. Some of them will even decide to just go into the magma and become diffuse with it, kind of like soul water. They rarely ever return. So I don't know if it's obvious to you, but if not, I will just spell it out. This is an Israel-Palestine situation. The shapeshifters are the natives of Pride. They are the prideful, which isn't always even bad. Yeah, there's white supremacists here because they are prideful, but so are indigenous activists, equal rights activists. Basically, if you care greatly for a movement, if you like, you have world leaders as much as you have revolutionaries here. Those that believe that they are righteous are the ones that come here, whether they actually are or not. So it's like, what if the indigenous people were all anti-centrists, basically, or at least they all have extreme views, whether those are based or not. A lot of people seem to presume that extreme views are inherently bad, but that's obviously just a liberal framework, right? It's possible to have based views that are just radical. Or sorry, I should say based views that are moral and defensible. Anyway, when they get down here, they are betrayed by someone, I won't say who, and they are arrested. This is the sixth level. There are 6 buildings. Within building 6, within the 6th room, this is where Lucifer resides. And Lucifer has a court of devils, a devil that represents every sin. And I kind of love this. This is kind of my favorite part of the entire book, where I have a straight up court drama where they try to assess the revolution that happened in Wrath and give them a chance to speak for themselves, with Angel deemed as the leader of this rebellious movement. And the punishment is gruesome, but also kind of kind at the same time, or at least that's how it's pitched. By this point, Angel loves all of her family dearly, but the one she cares the most for is her fellow succubus, because by this point, Angel has corrupted too. She's engaged in lust too many times. So there's one of each sin. They even befriend a shapeshifter, Tansura, who is their lawyer. He is the defense attorney. He is what if Phoenix Wright from the Ace Attorney series was a shapeshifter and also very based and indigenous and non-binary. Look, it's a whole character. Okay, so he's not actually they're not actually that like Phoenix Wright, I suppose. Besides the profession. Anyway, with all those people, you have all these sins, but then there's two succubi. One of the really unfortunate things, though, is the way how clinical, like the devils call her an incubus. I did do some like, okay, so the devils. Oh, I want to talk about them, but I don't know how much I should talk about them. Okay, you know what? Devil of Greed. Okay. I have these like little synopses of what each of the devils are. So, I'll just read them because I think that's fun. It is obviously a spoiler, but I still think it's cool. I walked towards the left hallway, past the redemption desk, which hugged the leftward wall, not to go down it, but to look at the leftmost portrait of Michelantecutli. His skull was fairly expressionless, as one might expect from a skeleton, but something about how he looked dead onto the viewer in the perspective gave me chills. In front of each painting was a small column stand with a plaque upon it. The columns each seemed to be made of a different material, but the plaques were all paper, laminated in glass, with articulate writing in blood with prose on behalf of the devil in question. Michelantecutli's column was carved entirely out of several conjoined pieces of bone, with the plaque on top. I read it. It read, "The Devil of Sloth, Michelantecutli, hails from the far reaches of Limbo in the Deadwood Forests. He rules over those bleeped for apathy and faithlessness. In his wisdom, he prefers a neutral, hands-off approach in his rule, which comes naturally for him as the second eldest devil of all." And then we have the next one. I approached the next painting, the one of Pluto. He was posed thoughtfully, like a Greek statue, and he looked quite handsome, more so than I thought he had been when I actually saw him. His column was made entirely of gold, because, of course it was. It read, "The Devil of Greed. Pluto hails from the massively successful Parthenon Sweets Corporation of the Grand City, which was sold to Kincaid's for a massive profit. He rules over those bleeped for con artistry, crony capitalism, and gambling. His entrepreneurial endeavors are as renowned as his status of youngest devil." He's also a heartbreaker. He dated Theof. And then we have the next one, Wendigo. He looked displeased but not overtly angry. His expression looked disappointed, like he was judging me. His column was made of pulsing meat encased in glass. I wish that surprised me. How desensitized was I becoming from all this? I sighed, bleep me. It read, "The Devil of Gluttony. Wendigo hails from the democratic town of Cannibals as a personal friend of its ruling party." Let me change the music, this is too jaunty. He rules over those bleed for cannibalism and overindulgence. His advocacy for the meat industry of heck has ensured that the pleasure of eating has not disappeared altogether. And then we have Lust, a start. She looked performatively seductive, with an excessively pouty face like something I'd see in a movie or porn. Her column was made out of a black matte substance of some kind. Was it lust ink? It read, "The Devil of Lust, a start, hails from the kinky ring, the furthest ring embodying acceptable sexual liberation without being exploitative by the standards of the court. She rules over those bleat for adultery, lustfulness, and prostitution. She regularly boasts every soul she's made forgotten, literally asked for their eventual fate." All right. And then we have Beelzebub. His pose was menacing, and it was framed in such a way that he was looking down upon the viewer with his enormous, intimidating compound eyes. Bit full of himself, I thought. His column was made of chitin. It read, The devil of infinite. Hold on. That's better. The devil of envy, Beelzebub, hails from the fly colony, in which he co-rules alongside his lady Inanna. He rules over those bleep for incessant lying and thievery. He has the utmost integrity, managing to keep his affiliation with his colony from affecting his position as a representative of all bugs. So yeah, blatant conflict of interest. Which is what I say. All right, and then we have Satan. The painting was tastefully done, making sure to depict them as at a good three-quarter angle, with just the right dab of femininity within their otherwise masculine physique, though that was probably oversimplifying it. Nevertheless, they projected extreme confidence. Their column was made out of thick, hollow glass filled entirely with blood. It read, "The Devil of Wrath, Satan, hails from District 1, where they proved themselves as a loyal bleeder very long ago and proved a model citizen. They rule over those bleep for murder and tyranny. Their reputation of deal-making knows no bounds, from their dealings with the fallen angels to their bargains with poor souls of wrath down on their luck." So I decided with Satan. Satan is a sort of non-binary, but one that is very, very masculine leading with just some amount of femininity. And there's like a certain amount of like dubious faith Satan has, where it feels like Satan uses this gender ambiguity to kind of get away with doing things that other members like Astarte, the devil of lust, isn't allowed to do. My idea is I've had plenty of queer characters throughout the story. I've even had non-binary ones like Tonsura. My idea was, what if you have someone who's kind of bad faith about their gender and they just really only care about doing whatever they feel like? And that's kind of Satan. I'm not saying that Satan's not non-binary, but they weaponize it in a way for their own like personal ends. For example, Lucifer lets Satan walk around naked, for example. Anyway, then we have Morrigan. She looked fierce and mighty, like I could count on her to have my back in an emergency, like a strong mother, or possibly a tough, short, but hardened girlfriend, looking up to you from a height below you. Her column was made of blood-stained dark stone. It read, "The Devil of Pride, Morrigan, hails from beyond the shore of anguish, where she emerged from her personal commune to give back to her people. She rules over those bleat for treachery of one's friends, family, masters, nations, people, or God himself. She proudly supports extremists of all kinds, from a multitude of backgrounds." So yeah, she's the drag anti-centrist devil, which makes her kind of useful to turn the devils against each other, which is what they later do. And then we have the last one. His column seemed to be made of some ornate white rock carved into a pillar shape. It stood out from anything else here. I simply had no idea what material it was. The High Devil of Heck, Lucifer, hails from the sixth level of heaven known as Faith, from whence he was cast down for his righteous opposition to God. He dutifully leads the fallen angels, commands the devils, and manages Heck in the duties forced upon him by God. Among the seraphim, his voice has been the only voice for the bleeped. So yeah, that's the gist of the angel characters. And so the idea I'm going for here is that heaven is the real guys in charge. They run reality, God specifically, though there is a hierarchy there too. Heck is managed by Lucifer, but Lucifer is just middle management for God. Lucifer betrayed and now has been given duty. So my imagining of Lucifer is almost as a sort of like Nancy Pelosi figure or like an Obama or Bill Clinton. Basically, maybe at one point he stood for hope and change. Maybe at one point he did a revolution. At one point he bit the hand of God. But that was a long time ago. And guy's moderated. He just does his job. He makes his arbitrations, his rules, his rulings, I should say. And so one of the ways that they have to deal with the devils is it's Angel's job, her task before her, is to basically convince a former radical revolutionary who after millennia of compromises, has become a stooge for the guy he opposed, convincing him to give a crap again, to do something different, to be better. And this is what leads to what would be the third book, The War in Heaven, where they end up rallying the devils. They utilize Morrigan as a sort of like both sides anti-centrist double extremist. They use her to convince the other devils that it would be in their own interests to go to heaven, and they end up outvoting Lucifer, which is only possible if they all agree with each other, which is almost never happens. If you're wondering, by the way, why I chose these names, Wendigo, Michelantecutli, Astarte, the idea is that in real actual history, Christianity often subsumes other religions. While there was the time with Norse mythology where they tried to say that Norse mythology was just the prequel to Christian mythology, that's why some Norse stories have Ragnarok end with only two survivors. Those are meant to be Adam and Eve, or at least that's how the Christians would say it. Well, that was kind of out of the norm. What would actually more often happen is Christians would say that the gods of other religions back in the day were actually devils. Astarte was a Middle Eastern goddess of fertility, but then she was reimagined as a devil, a temptress, kind of like Lilith. So, with that in mind, all of the devil figures are deliberately references to other cultures and religions, because that was part of the sort of corrupting influence, the corruption of heck, what I named the story after. The idea that these entities, at least, metaphorically represent concepts that shouldn't be so perverse, but they have been made that way. I was definitely going for a strong moral ambiguity with the devils. Literally, they are the devils I know, and they end up becoming sort of allies even after the gruesome court sequence, because at least they were willing to do a proper court, whereas heaven wasn't. Which is, faint praise, obviously. So eventually they go to heaven, and they fight in the different levels of heaven. The higher levels of heaven, the echelons, are really cool, in my opinion. I'm really proud of how I wrote them. I have a twist that I do not want to spoil, because I want there to at least be something saved. When they go to heaven and they finally get to the highest level, when they confront God, I employ a twist that I feel is a really cool twist. And it is not a twist I have ever seen any other story that tries to tackle Abrahamic mythology do. I have not seen it. Well, there was one anime that came close, but even then, not really. So, let's just say God is not what they expect. And that's my story. That is the corruption of heck. Like I said, I gotta say something. Don't want to spoil everything, but I worked hard on this. I really like it. It's I hope the fact that it's in first person is not too much of a liability, because a lot of these stories are third person. I just felt like it was kind of a very personal narrative of someone going through this story. Obviously, I put a lot of myself in the character, but I put just as much of my partner Kira because I love her. Sorry. But yeah, I worked on this, and I hope you can understand, if anyone watches, if anyone gives a crap, why, even though I loved, I like other stories that kind of do their own mythology, I felt like I gave it the most serious consideration. The thesis of the story is any system that arbitrarily divides people into between good and evil would inherently be unjust. There are people that are deemed good that are not. There are people deemed bad that are not. It's just too complicated. And there's a lot of shades of gray. So, yep, that's my story. I really hope I can get this published. Like I said, I'm going to try to split it into 3 and see if that helps. But if there's anyone watching this that wants to publish me, email me, I guess. If I don't respond to an email, I have a Discord channel. I really gotta plug the Discord channel more. But yeah, you'll find on my YouTube page on Kyle Marshiku, there's a link to the Discord. Feel free to join it, guys. All right. I've been talking a while. I think I'm going to stop now. I'm going to go switch over to play Minecraft with my beloved partner. And we're doing the Nether, which I felt was very fitting why I wanted to talk about this stuff today. All right. Thank you. Bye. I should say, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. All right, don't go anywhere. All right, hello. I am back. Let's get Minecraft going. All right, I just need to call up my partner. Oh, I shouldn't be showing this yet. Hold on. Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Te Test your audio. Make sure everything's good, sweetie.
All right, I think everything's good. You can hear me, right?
You sound fine enough, I guess.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Do you have Minecraft loaded, sweetie?
It is loading.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get into the game. Should
Yep.
appear on stream in a moment. Any moment now. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wanted to mention, I want to acknowledge how few people were in chat today. And I think this is one of the big reasons I really want to get a literary agent for my book. People just don't really care about new IP. I talk about an underworld story, I talk about Hazbin Hotel, I get a bunch of people in chat. I talk about one I wrote myself, and it's a ghost town, you know? Even though I genuinely think mine is better. I don't want to keep comparing it to Hazbin Hotel. It's just the most recent example of that type of story, so comparisons kind of just come naturally. But it's it's hard being a creative person because like unless you're making derivative content, a lot of people don't care. Like that's why a lot of like commission artists and stuff will make fan art of other characters or lewd art even, you know? I don't blame them, but like it's certainly more rewarding than making their own people. Hello, Kira?
Yeah, yeah, I think people just are really so unwilling to let themselves get emotionally invested in new things.
Hey, these bone stairs you made are kind of bad. You can't climb them without jumping.
I am not done with them yet, okay?
Okay.
So give it some time.
Um, yeah, so anyway, it's my hope that I can get an agent because the agent could then do a whole bunch of like advertising and whatnot. They can negotiate a deal with the publisher. And that's how you get big. No one ever gets their story to get big without literally like marketing and press. It's one of the unfortunate things about our current reality, which is only going to get worse. It's that you with so much stuff being had, so many people competing for affection, so many soulless corporations out there, you end up there's a lot of sheep around. You end up needing someone to guide you, to tell you, hey, you should check this thing out. Even when people use examples of like Darly endings, like I think of like Undertale, right?
Yeah.
Oh crap, there's a giant mean lizard. I think of sorry, hold on. Ah! Gotta get my ranged weapon out. I think of Undertale. Undertale was an amazing game that a lot of people loved. It didn't cost that much. But, like, let's be real. The reason Undertale was so successful was because it already had the fan base of Homestuck to work off of, you know? And Homestuck was only successful from previous work. It is the accumulation of, like, 2 decades of several people working on things for Undertale to get to the prominence it got to.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
What?
I didn't know about this, but you know Peak, that game?
What?
You know the mountain climbing game Peak?
Yes.
They added cannibalism.
That's fine. Alright,
Yep.
I killed the lizard thing. No
Okay.
loot? Oh, that's lame. Well, at least it's gone now. Are you getting in the game yet, sweetie? Hello? Are you getting in the game?
It's still loading.
Oh, okay. You have your noise filter on, so sometimes you talk and it doesn't go through.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, I just kind of wanted to complain and vent. It's hard being a creative person, because with AI and everything, like, look, it's not just AI, it's not just the existence of AI, but I genuinely wish there was a way you could just look at a character and see if it has a metaphorical soul in it. The reason Undertale became as popular as it did wasn't because of the art. It wasn't even because of the gameplay. It was because the characters had soul. They were very well written, lovable, fleshed out characters. People understood the nuance and the emotions behind them. But most of the characters you will see on a day-to-day basis don't have that same level of nuance. So many characters are just corporate garbage that are just hollow and vapid and meaningless. And I wish there was just a way you could immediately identify that, but you really can't. The only way you can is if you spend time with that character and realize whether you've been conned or are going to have an amazing time. And the AI just made that worse. It's made the cons easier to do than ever before. But it's one of those things where, like, I get frustrated that I don't get more views on certain things. But I understand, you know, I am up against almost unbeatable odds. Like, the other day, we were watching Super Eye Patch Wolf, right? And, you know, I've talked about him before, literally the best video essayist. And the stuff he does is amazing. He just released a book on top of everything else he's doing. I mean, I guess, you know, being a content creator is his literal day job. That gives him a major advantage. But he's very successful. He was talking about being successful. And Kira commented on that, saying, like, oh, yeah, like, he can't believe he's so successful. Like, dude, you're amazing. You make amazing things. And I kind of got a bit mad at Kira for that. I'm like, I make amazing things, too. I know dozens of people that make amazing things and aren't remotely as successful. Super Eye Patch Wolf is, like, literally one of the most successful video essayists ever, rivaling H. Bomber Guy in Philosophy Tube. So, like I kind of took umbrage with Kira's statement because, like, no, he should be flabbergasted by his success. The fact he has talent had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not trying to call you out, sweetie. I did not agree with that sentiment. I know you want it to be true. You know, people want to believe in a meritocracy, but
it's just not true.
Not only that, but actually, now that I think about it, most people don't actually care about a meritocracy. They say they do, but they don't. I think good people like you think that hard effort and work should be rewarded. Maybe that's a more popular opinion just in general, hard numbers wise. But let me tell you, conservatives, a lot of Americans do not actually believe in a meritocracy. Like, literally, a white guy gets to a profession, they're like, oh, meritocracy, he must have worked hard, don't give it to a black guy, that's DEI. But then if a black guy just also happens to get that job, suddenly meritocracy doesn't mean anything. They don't care anymore. They just want him gone. And I can't help but think that the best example of this is Trump's appointments in his latest fascist regime. He literally just fired the Attorney General and replaced them with one of the largest Fox News correspondents.
Yep.
Sorry, you might not appreciate this, Kira, as someone who never watched Fox News, but it's Jean Pirro. Like, it is like the ghoulest of ghouls that still worked there, besides maybe like Bill O'Reilly. But Bill O'Reilly was disgraced for sexual harassment back when that was still on the table for Fox News, which he probably feels grumpy about.
Yep.
But yeah, like, just literal propaganda. It's like I saw the announcement that she was picked as Attorney General, and I'm like, oh, so Himmler. Like this is our Himmler. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Sorry, sweetie. I know I'm ranting, but I was kind of expecting it to be a bit more of a back and forth.
No, it's just I don't know anything about the Fox News people. Like, I don't know who they are, so
Unfortunately,
can't
I
really
spent a lot of
contribute.
time watching them growing up. It's like my parents' favorite thing to have on TV. I wonder why they became so brainwashed.
Yeah, I wonder. You could just go collect materials for me while you're ranting.
Well, no, you waited till I was done ranting. I'm thinking now, I got those eyeballs, which I think are pretty cool. I wish they would grow down more. But, I think,
If you want, like, maybe giving them some, bone meal will help them grow.
I don't have bone meal.
I have bone blocks that I can turn into bone meal for you.
Yeah, do that. So I was thinking, though, I want to...
Here.
Okay, yes. Oh, thank you. You keep working on redefining the home, our outpost, our nether outpost, into just a presentable fashion. And I'm going to just find some random trinkets from exploring, because there's just so much here.
Okay.
Like, I got the eyeballs. I want to see what other cool things I can get. I'm thinking this might be our last nether episode. We'll see how we feel at the end.
Okay.
So yeah, don't put too much work into it. Just try to wrap it up and make it look nice, okay?
Okay, sweetie.
Is that okay?
Yep.
You don't seem very excited.
I like this house.
I
I
know.
think it's gonna look nice.
One of the unfortunate things about building a sandcastle is sometimes you feel like, all right, what do I do with it now that I've made it? But, look, it's the experience. We're going around and we're doing an experience with trying to, like, build a bunch of things. So, we're going to make an outpost at each of the dimensions. This one's probably going to be our most complicated one. So I'm just going to go find some cool stuff to add to it.
Okay.
If there's anyone in chat that would like to chat or talk about anything, I'm happy to do that. I'll talk about a media property next time, so more people are intrigued to come.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much lava and stuff. What are these things? Eggplant. Ah! Okay, so they are poisonous. It just took a minute. Okay. what is that? Smoker. Oh, what? I don't even know what was happening there. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm just suddenly being attacked on all sides. Great. Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my goodness, there's so much. Alright, so much for getting a smoker, I guess. Are those gas just like really fast or something? Or they just have a long range, maybe?
Maybe.
What are you doing? Oh, you got hit
Yeah,
by the squid guy?
Yeah.
I thought he's supposed to be repulsed. Why isn't he being repulsed?
I don't know. I think it's because he's close. I don't know.
Yeah, he's supposed to be. I don't know why he's not.
Yeah. Here, can I cheat in another pulsar and put it on the beach?
Just move the one you have.
Hey.
Okay, hit the fence. Ow. There, you got him.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, I heard a ghast. Where is it? Oh, wait, no. This is a different one. This is like a wisp thing. Alright. Well, I'm gonna just run off somewhere else.
Okay.
Alright, let's see if there's anything cool we can find. Oh! Smokers. These smokers are actually really interesting. Ow, so many dangerous plants. Ow! Okay, I got smoker parts, yeah? Okay, cool. There's so much deadly things here! Ow!
Yeah, it's the Nether. What do you expect?
I thought Heck would be a friendly place for a vacation.
Well, you were wrong.
Oh, great. Not you guys. I think some of the biomes are a little overrepresented, or maybe I need to go higher or lower or something. Ow! Whoa! Oh, that was a weird glitch. Okay. Ooh, what's this? There's some bramble type of vine. Stalagnate. Oh, wait. It is climbable. Yes, I want it. Oh, is it? It's like a wood, I think? Okay, I'm using the wrong tool. What? A gas just showed up. Okay, it's lagging a bit, which is unfortunate. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I pick this stuff up or not? Oh, man. I hate it when it does this. Nether moss, huh? Nether grass. There's the chicken. If I even try to shoot, will it work? Oh, I have to pull it out again. Oh, finally picked it up. Alright, let's just get out of here. You know, I'm worried about the lag. Maybe I should just teleport. What are you up to, sweetie?
I'm working on the house.
I'm teleporting back to you. Maybe the lag will stop. I almost died there for some reason. Oh, you're making like a patio.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mm.
I need to mess with my inventory a bit. What are things I really don't need to have on me? Okay. You know, I never did put that bone meal up. Let's go do that now. They are starting to grow.
I don't know if it'll make it grow, but it might.
Yeah,
I can't say for sure.
did something.
Oh, good.
Wait. Oh, it doesn't work on the big ones, apparently. Just the small ones.
I see.
Yep. Just the small ones. But it's coming along.
This is really nice.
I can't plant this on flesh. That's so loud. Okay, what can I plant this on if not flesh? Oh, can I plant out the dirt here? No. Oh my goodness, I hate... Oh, it has to be nether moss. Alright, well there it is. We got nether moss. Yeah, sure. Oh, I got a shroom light. I want to put this somewhere.
You can hang it up out here if you'd like.
There we go. That's nice. I like that. Just a beacon in the darkness. Oh, and a smoker. I got a smoker too. Yes. We got a chimney. Look, we got a chimney.
Nice.
What are you making?
Here. I'm working on this outer bit here.
Oh, that looks cute.
Yeah, I think
You're cutting out, sweetie.
I think I'm gonna put the pot here and then put one of these bulbs in it. Because I think that would look nice.
I'm curious what happens if you put a bucket of blood in lava.
Oh. I don't know, sweetie. Give it a try.
I'll try it with a different one. I don't want to ruin our little blood pond outside. I feel like I need to go higher. Oh, I should probably not stand here.
What?
What? What's going on?
There was a juggernaut attacking me.
We have a very green biome over here. Alright, let's try
What the?
going higher. Oh, it's like a little pool, but instead of water, it's that orange mushroom. I'll take it. I like it. Oh, is this... Never mind. Some of these plants, it's hard to like replant them afterwards. They split up, and it's like, ah, forget you then.
Hey, do you have shears?
Yes, why?
Can I give me shears?
I'm exploring at the moment, though.
When you get home, can you give me shears?
Ooh, netherwood. This place is kind of cool. What is that sound? Oh, zombie pig. Which is nice for some reason. Ah! What was that about? Okay, I don't see what's happening. Okay, I'm about to die. Okay, I think there was some, like, mischievous girl in there killing me. Oh my goodness. Forget you guys. I'm leaving. I think a succubus was, like, lighting me on fire over and over, so I couldn't even see what was happening. Alright, let's go. Ooh, what's this over here? More floral stuff. There were a bunch of Nether mods you ended up not using because they were breaking the Nether, weren't there?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I remember seeing some wacky Nether biomes previous times we played together.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's this? Whoa! Oh, okay, there's a spawner in there, clearly. Okay, I guess I'll leave then. I don't want to die. Alright, let's try going. Oh, look at this! A little archway here, that's so cool. Oh. There's like quartz as part of it, nice. Whew. Sweetie, you gotta talk to me a little bit.
Sorry. I was doing the doors and stuff in our home, and I actually really like how things turned out.
Oh yeah? Ow.
Yeah.
I found a farm.
Oh, really? Cool.
And got one of these juggernauts to deal with. 2 of them. I hate these things so much. Let's get my shield out. Actually, you know what? Let's just bucket them. Okay. That's much easier than fighting them normally, because these enemies are broken. There we go. And that's how we fall. Ow. My ears. Okay, what do we have here? Bunch of little chickens. Aw, little soul sand chicken farm. I thought there might have been an ally here, but it might have just been chickens. Reed
Makes sense.
blocks. Nether reed. Oh, you can farm nether reed.
Yeah.
Interesting. Alright. Well, I hate to lose the buckets, but easier than trying to find a place to place them down. Oh, another one. Alright, let's just get out of here. Alright, let's see if there's anywhere else we can find like a layer above. Kira, are you alive?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just decorated.
Is there anything you want to talk about or want to hear me ramble about?
I don't know.
Oh, okay then.
I really like decorating, okay?
Do you want to talk about the Daggerheart game that you ran yesterday?
Oh my god, you motherfucker.
I feel like you'd have fun talking about that.
Yeah, so the entire part... we've talked about our Mario D&D game before. The entire party for this Dagger Heart one shot decided to play their Mario D&D characters without telling me, and I had no idea until they revealed it.
Yep.
They had just created their Mario D&D characters, and I didn't even realize it.
Wow, there's actually very little up here. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that was fun. I ended up making the turtle person a Galappa.
Yeah.
And I had them be a winged sentinel seraph, so they had wings. And you were like, "Oh, it's like you're playing a paratrooper." I'm like, "Yeah, it's like that. It's like I'm playing a paratrooper." Yup.
I did not even realize that you were basing it off the paratrooper actual character.
Yeah, Mango the Koopa, which I renamed to Apricot.
Yep.
That was fun.
You fucker. I can't believe the entire party did that without me realizing.
Normally, I really don't like it when people make their TTRPG. Oh, hey, Krista says hello. Hey there. I talked about my book earlier. Krista's one of my friends. She's one of the few people that's promised to read the book. So maybe that's a spoiler for her. But, yeah. But yeah, I normally don't appreciate when people play TTRPGs with malicious intention. Okay, I finally got up here. And the bedrock is like... There, yeah, it's not that far. But, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I don't like it when people play TTRPGs with a specific intention for a character that they do not disclose to the DM. So many people use it as an excuse to do some, like, a vicarious stuff that they can't live throughout their real lives, or they reuse characters from existing campaigns that really just don't fit this campaign, or I just don't like the ulterior motives that a lot of people have. And not all of them are terrible. You can reuse a character. I'm not against that entirely, but I do think you should communicate with your DM and not have it be an ulterior secret thing. But we were doing a one-shot, and everyone was in on it together. And I did communicate with you, Kira. I asked, "Hey, is it okay if I pick a really trolly character?" And you're like, "Yeah, have fun with it." I'm like, "No, but I'm going to be trolling you specifically." And you're like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, "All right, I got permission."
They were all conspiring in a separate chat to make their characters the D&D characters without me knowing.
Yep. Carissa says, "Funny above all other priorities when it comes to this D&D scenario." Technically, it's not D&D, it's Daggerheart. It's a different system.
Yeah, they were playing... We were doing a Daggerheart one-shot.
It was fun, though. I liked it.
I'm glad you had fun. I found your discarded buckets.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
They got bad guys in them.
Yeah, I could tell.
Krista says, "Drags should have said tabletop. I presume that's a sentence." Oh, lava! Oh, there's lava in the nether, guys! Ah! I was mining and got assaulted by lava. It does not value consent. You better be careful, not. Lava, or MasterCard's gonna have a word with you. Dubious consent, lava? Isn't there someone you forgot to ask? Oh, Krista says Daggerheart was a setting. No. It's a whole gameplay mode. It was made by the same people that made Critical Role. So, like, instead of rolling a d20, you roll 2 d12s, but they're with Fope and here, like they're color coded. So, depending on whether you get hope or fear, depends on, like, changes the outcome. It also is heavily involved in the turn order, which is more free-formed and kind of like a back and forth between the players and the DM.
Yep.
Which I think is interesting. Some people complained about it. I think it helps combat be a lot faster, which is a huge boon, honestly. D&D combat is so slow. Now, I do think one of the downsides is having a sort of loosey-goosey turn order means a lot of people are incentivized to clamor on top of each other, which that's not the bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm hearing scary sounds.
Oh,
But it's not. I don't mind people being incentivized to clamor on top of each other. I think that's good actually. What I don't like is some people just being polite pushovers. So they never advocate for themselves, and they end up getting their turn skipped. And sometimes they know this, and this makes them upset. Other times, you do have situations where everyone's trying to be nice, but everyone doesn't want to steal the show. So you end up getting a sort of self-enforced debacle where people are like you go, no I go, no you go, no I go, and that is just not fun in my opinion.
yeah.
So I think that is a downside of the system, but the upside more than overcompensates for that in my opinion, because slow combat is just not fun.
I'm really glad that you like the system so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Um, I still probably like I mentioned earlier I was making my own system, Ether Space, and I'm going to be using something that's not like Daggerheart, but I'm also good. You know, it's good to try out a new system. I'm going to be doing my own thing.
Yeah.
See, Daggerheart, you roll your d12s, but every time you get a fear in combat, it goes to the DM, and now it's their turn. And they can only move for as many fear tokens as they have, and they'll decide how they want to do that. And then
Yep.
when that's over, it goes back to the players, and effectively, this means as long as you keep rolling with hope, your turn as a group can keep going. But it's loosey-goosey, so who goes in your player group is up to your determination.
Yep.
The way I'm going to do things in my Ether Space idea is I'm going to have the group initiative type of thing, so you go with your team, but I'm going to make it to where you don't move on until everyone has gone. Because I feel like if everyone gets to go, no one has to feel like they're missing out. Then at that point, it just comes down to who goes first. And I think that'll be a lot less contentious because no one's going to feel like they're missing out.
Yep.
Some people might argue about, I want to go first or I want to go last, but I don't feel like arguments like that will have serious weight to them. You'd have to be pretty petty to care that much.
Yep.
And I think that still incentivizes people clamoring on top of each other, which you always want over dead silence.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me rambling for a lot. Your turn, sweetie.
I actually really did like getting to play Daggerheart. I've been wanting to play it for forever, so I'm really glad that I got to.
Looks like we got some harpies. Nether wood. Oh, creepers, of course. Lovely. What is that? I don't know. Sheep man. Ooh, what is this? Quartz? Bone mushroom. Bone stairs. Interesting. I want a bone mushroom. That sounds like a nice souvenir. Aw. It fell apart when I slashed it. Alright, no bone mushrooms for me. Ah! I hit something. I feel like I've explored most of the biomes by this point. It's not honestly as varied as I was hoping it would be. I'm guessing there were just a lot of Nether mods not compatible in this version of Minecraft. Ooh, a fungus one. Is it raining? No, it's just kind of musty. I am dying for some reason.
Oh no.
Yep, just burning to death out of nowhere. Okay, am I good now? Lots of mushrooms. I like this mushroom biome, honestly. Oh no, not you. Not you! I didn't come to heck to do combat. I'm just vacationing. Maybe I should go explore a fortress. Oh, what is this? What's this little island here? Oh, magma slime? Oh, that's just lava. But there is blood blocks. And there's magma slimes. Nice. Are you friendly?
Interesting.
Are you guys friendly? Krista says, can you eat the mushrooms? Some of them, not all of them. It's inconsistent. I think... Wait, what? Okay, you're friendly, but you hurt when I touch you. Is that it? No. I don't understand. Is the game breaking? Oh. Okay. Nope. Okay, that hurt. Okay. I'm just gonna take a small one. It's not a baby. You guys don't reproduce that way. Wait, is that? Oh. Wait. This lava's not burning me for some reason. Weird. What about this lava? Okay, no, that lava burns. It's like a different type of lava. Interesting. Go away, fire. Go away! I think we're experiencing some lag.
Yep.
I got yellow slime. Or at least I'm trying to. Alright, I guess I will teleport back to base. Maybe if we're near each other, the lag won't be so bad. Uh-oh.
Did you get any interesting plants?
I am back. Ah! I'm on fire. And I am stuck on the floor. I think I'm just gonna die, maybe. The fire started burning again.
Go into the blood pool.
I'm good now. Alright, let's see if the magma guy is friendly. You friendly? You went to the corner. Okay, let's try this again. Nope, not that. Oh. Okay, you jumped out somehow. Hi. I guess you seem friendly. Is it upset that I moved it so far away from its home? Yeah, it keeps just immediately going straight for that corner. Oh, it died. Crap. Alright. That was strange. I don't know what was up with that. Alright. I think you're going to need to finish up this home pretty soon, sweetie.
All I need left to do is tiles and then maybe windows and that's it.
I got a nether banana. I'm eating it.
Okay.
I survived. Alright. More shroom lights.
You could put the shroom lights. Oh, give me shroom lights to put in the corners inside.
I found a better use.
Oh, okay, this is nice.
Krista says, yeah, they were trying to teleport back, but they were blocked by a deadly wall. Yeah. Whenever that wall gets in the way of your teleportation. Bone mushroom spores. Can I plant these? Okay, I need to put this torch away.
Do you like the cactus I put outside our place?
Oh, yeah, that's lovely. Oh, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Okay, I cannot plant the bone mushroom spores.
They need to be on bone blocks. That's why.
Oh, that makes sense. I don't...
Yep.
Oh, wait.
I have bone blocks if you want them.
No, that's fine. I'll just use it inside. These are all bone blocks, right?
These are tile. I'm not sure they'll work on tile.
They work just fine.
Oh, wait, they do. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We'll have some spore buddies in here with us.
Okay, sweetie.
All right,
Oh,
what else we got?
growing mold in her house. Okay, fine.
Look, it's it's Vogue. Okay,
It's what?
Vogue.
Uh,
See, I know fashion.
no, you do not.
It's new. Yes, new.
Go away.
I got some wood if you want nether wood. I don't know how useful it'll be.
It could be nice.
It's only a
Give it.
little bit though.
That's fine. Maybe I could decorate with it.
Do you have anything you want me to offload back to the home? I might do that.
Uh, not really.
Okay. Krista says Eldritch and human fashion are very different. That's a very polite way of saying that my fashion's out of this world. Why is this square up here? This is weird. Interesting. Okay. Ah, the nether looks so beautiful. Wait, what's that
Yeah.
giant cube? Oh, it's a fortress. Let's go inside and say hi. I won. I won. I won that fight. Alright, now let's go inside. I don't see an entrance. I will make my own. I don't like what's in here. Like, at all. Okay, never mind. It was just like, I'll make my own entrance. I go inside, immediately faced with a horde of blazes. I'm just like, yep, I'm good. Alright. This is the real one. Okay, we got this. We got this. It's so spooky. Ah! Ooh, emerald chestplate. Yes, please. I don't know what those are. Dynamite. Ow! I thought I would throw it first before just igniting it, but okay. Alright, there we go. Dark boots. And an air chomp. Walk on air? Yeah, sure. I mean, I can already fly, but I'll take it. Hello. Oh, the charm's already working. I can just walk on air. That's really cool, actually. I should probably turn it off and not waste it. Alright. So, dungeons aren't that rewarding. They just have occasional chests. They're not very fun. Alright, let's go into the middle of one. Is there nothing in here? Guess not. Not on that bit, anyway. Ah! Lava? Okay. I hate you. I hate you! Leave me alone! Oh, there's two of them. Alright. Oh, that's just... Okay, run! Alright, I think we've gotten most out of the Nether. We just need to finish up our house and find a different dimension to go to.
Okay.
Ah! Alright, let me teleport back. Krista says, yeah, the combat could definitely be better, and the combat update didn't really help. It's also people making in modded creatures that are cool in theory, but they're just not balanced, like, at all. Oh,
Yeah.
Cinesite Lantern. Krista says, how many dimensions are there? Well, you know what? I will go show you. Alright, let's go back to the Nether portal. Alright. So we use these waystones to get around in the dimension, but the portals will take us between dimensions. Okay. Let's see. Can I drop something? Guess I don't need the nether rack. There we go. Are we going? There we go. Took a minute. Alright. So, this is our nexus with all the different dimensions we plan on going to. We were thinking we'd only be in each one for just like an episode, just to like explore, make a little hut as an outpost, figure out the details. But so far, here we have our overworld. This leads to our home base. And from here, you can see the nexus. You see the beauty of the natural world. I'm going to drop off some things. I don't need this, that, whatever that is, that. I'll keep the bucket. I'll throw the air charm in there. Maybe Kira might want it. And put away that. I guess I don't need shears. Alright, and then let's get the stuff out of the bag. Hold on to that. Oh, mushrooms. Okay. And then let's put this away. Okay. Krista says natural world? Yeah, like the overworld, natural. Well, you know, by Minecraft standards. Anyway, and then here we have our portal to the Nether. Oh, hey, there's that. Those blocks I threw. They went through the portal. Interesting. And then we have the other ones. All right, so here we have the end. Oh, sorry, no, the ether. We have the ether here. Once we set up the portal, we'll design the place to look the way it's from where we took it. It's like this looks like the Nether. This looks like the overworld. And then up here we have Ratlantis. Then the city world. Then Twilight Forest. And then Atom. And then down here. Oh, it's dusk. Oh, beautiful. Down here we have the end. We have the dark below. We have midnight. And then Aurorian. Oh, that's so beautiful. And then last we have the Abyssal Wasteland, the Dread Plains, and Omathol. Those are the Eldritch ones. So yeah, that'll definitely be fun. I am getting bored of the Nether, though.
Yeah.
Chris says there are 14. Yep. Oh! Oh, there we go. I glitched through the floor for a second. Oh, hey, this is looking really nice.
Yep.
Are you done?
Almost.
Okay. I'm gonna go take a bloodbath.
Okay.
You know what? We need like a light over here so we can appreciate how red it is. There we go. Oh no. Hey, don't interrupt my bloodbath. Krista says, Nether is the basic dimension everyone's familiar with. Yeah, yep, it's the first one. This is why it has the most mods, and it's one that we are probably going to be spending most of the time with. Ah, you know what? I'll go to the other bloodbath.
Okay.
Jerk. Krista says, well, I suppose it's definitely better than the end, unless mods change that. Kira, do we have mods that make the end better?
Probably.
What do you mean probably? You don't remember?
No, I don't remember. This mod pack is enormous. Why would you ever expect me to remember?
Because you made the mod pack.
Literally a very long time ago.
Okay. Anyway. We got... that's kind of a bad spot. There we go. Okay. Other bloodbath. Yay! I love how they make it red when you go inside it. It's so cool. You know what? Oh no, I was going to take a bucket of blood, but we already have some at home.
We have blood at home.
Yeah, don't worry about the blood in the Nether. We have blood back at home. What if I made like liquid moats or something? I never did find out what happens here. Wait. Okay. What happens? Yeah, that did mess it up. I hate messing up the surface tension. What happens if I put blood in lava? I'm curious. I want to know. I have to know.
Okay.
What? Wait, what? What?
What happens?
It disappeared.
Yeah, it probably burned up. It probably acts like water.
No.
Ari.
No! You can find blood, but you can't maneuver it. You can't move it. That's not fair.
It probably has the logic of water.
Sheepman. Sheepman, console me. Sheepman, console me. That's not consoling. Sheepman wants to give gold dust for... or glowstone dust for gold ingots. Also, the sheepmen are really great as shields, preventing you from getting hit by fire. That's good to know. So, how much further, sweetie?
I am done.
Nice.
I finished. What do you think?
Our repulsion machine is doing well to repel most of the enemies down here.
Yep. But what do you think?
Oh, you made like a little staircase here to get to it? The beach? The flesh beach?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yes.
Alright, you know what? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do like a bit, okay?
Okay.
What was that place that show that had like all the fancy homes? What was it?
Cribs.
Yeah, Cribs. Today on Cribs, we look at this amazing home. The home is located... Oh, crap. I need... Hold the bag? Yeah, I'll hold the bag because I'm like fencing for rich people. We come down here to the literal afterlife in Heck to look at this amazing, luxurious lava-side resort home built right on top of the flesh beaches with a repulsor outside just to keep some of the more nasty critters away. And what's that? Oh, is that the lava power system? That's right. We are completely renewable with geothermal energy here. Lovely. Let's go walk closer. Don't mind the wildlife. They only singe a little bit. There's a nice little eye bulb flower. We'll replant that, don't worry. And we have a nice little cactus just to welcome you home on the nether brick slab into this amazing crib. Go past the bone reed doors, ethically grown, and look, bone tile, the richest and freshest, and it even comes with your own pet bone mushroom spores. So that way you can just breathe it in. You have your own waystone, so that you can teleport straight to your job without ever having to interact with any of your sheep neighbors. That's not a slur, they are literal sheep. And then here's your repulsor generator thing. It only requires 16 active heat generators acting simultaneously to function, but it's already set up and you can look through your glass wall at the horrors of the afterlife that await you when you inevitably perish. This has been Kira's Nether Crib on Cribs. Did I do good? They had an accent,
Thank
right?
you.
They had an accent?
Yeah.
Well, they have an accent now.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So what do you think, sweetie?
I think you did a great job. Oh, the Cinesite lanterns in the corner are a real nice touch.
What about the little windows I put in the wall over here?
Yeah, I missed that. Nice. And honestly, you fixed the stairs, which is really... Oh, and you kept a little bit of the flesh there. Nice, nice. Good touch. I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Of course, it says, I'd buy it, but I prefer the gold. Oh, I forgot to mention we have the shroom lights and the smoker up here. And look, we even have some eyeballs dangling down from the horrors above so that we always have an eye on us. And you know what? What would you rather have? The eye of Big Brother, the government, surveillance, corporations knowing your credit card and all of your biometrics, or an eldritch eye from beyond? I know what I'd choose. Demon Cow!
Yeah.
Look, free dinner. Oh, demon sheep too. We're getting the whole demon genus down here. Where'd they go?
I don't know.
Guess they left.
Hell sprout.
All right. I think this is going to basically conclude our time with the Nether.
I think the house is nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey! One of the sheep men got inside.
Look, sometimes
dude.
your neighbors don't knock before asking. Carissa says I trust the Eldritch Eyes because they would watch regardless if I knew or not. That's a good one. Okay. Well, we should probably head back home. This has been nice. I think you did a great job.
Wait.
What?
Our baby.
Festus, you're alive. Hi.
Yeah.
He's so happy. This is the face of someone that could kamikaze you, but won't because he loves you.
Yes.
Every
naming...
every day, every morning, Festus is like, I will not kill myself today.
I'm hoping that naming him will keep him alive.
Maybe. So, you know, we're probably not going to come back here and stream, but my idea is canonically our characters will, like, traverse the dimensions. So this is our home away from home now.
Yep.
We'll have our own little nexus. All right. So let's head back. Nether portal. And then go into the Nether portal. All right. And the next thing we need to make is the ether. That one will actually be really easy to make. We don't have to worry about that.
That's glowstone and a bucket of water.
Yeah, that one's really easy. It's meant to be kind of the antithesis to the Nether, where it's like all airy and heavenly.
Yep.
So at least we'll die less, and our jetpacks will come in a lot more handy.
Yeah, I gotta recharge mine and getting low on hydrogen.
Me too. But I don't think we really have anything else to do. We could just kind of head on in there, right?
Yep.
Now, we do still have time in stream today, but maybe we want to put that off till next time?
Probably, yeah. I think it's best to do it that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind ending a bit early today. I've kind of, talking about my book was honestly really draining, and it always feels more draining the less people there are. Maybe that sounds unintuitive, but trust me, do public speaking, doing it in front of a crowd is so much easier than doing it in front of nobody. The only people who
Yep.
tell you otherwise are people with stage fright.
Yep.
What do you fear more, people or silence? I fear silence.
Good point. Good point.
I'm really happy with the way this place took this place checked out.
Yeah.
We
Oh, we gotta go to the end dimension and kill the Ender Dragon
the,
eventually.
yeah, that's gonna be laborious. I think.
I've never done
Hey,
that
hey, hey,
before.
hey, hold, okay, quiet. You're a little loud.
Sorry.
It's fine. Can you pick up that netherrack that's floating over there? I really thought it would sink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the ether first, do this left side, and then we're gonna go do the top side. So we'll do some of the wacky dimensions. So basically, we're doing like basic 3, then we're doing the wacky 4, then we're doing the dark 4, and then we're doing the eldritch 3.
Yep.
This does mean, though, eventually we will have to do the end, which will be a pain in the butt. You'll have to make sure we're locked and loaded for that.
Yep.
I don't care how much we have to like cheat it. Oh, I mean, I would prefer to like cheat it with like in-game items as opposed to using console stuff. But yes.
I think we'll be fine. I got it. I got it.
All right. Ooh, you know what? I haven't had a chance to use this in a while. Here's the fast way back home. There we go. Here's the Eldritch pedestal on top of our house. Nice.
Or you could just
Just what? Oh, the teleporter?
Yep. Hi.
Wait, you didn't come through the teleporter.
I did. I'm right in front of the house.
Oh, I must have missed you.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. What happens if I do this? Oh, interesting. It's not high enough to bounce. I wish you could bounce in general and just like ping pong against the walls. That'd be fun. Wait, what did you just do?
I just put some glass up there to decorate. What do you think?
I think that glass is a poor choice, honestly.
Okay.
I do like the idea though of taking some of the nether and putting it in our home, and maybe we can add to our home with each dimension we go to.
Ooh, that'd be so cool.
But do you have a piece of nether besides that one that looks better?
I have these tiles
Sure.
here. I don't have an axe. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a little tacky, but that's fine. It'll probably look very tacky if we add everything, but I'm okay with that. Let's have our home be tacky.
Yes.
Yep. Gold from the nether.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I think we're going to end early then today, guys. Next time, we're going to talk about Disco Elysium. I'm really excited to talk about that. I was waiting for Kira to finish playing her version, but I've decided that's never going to happen. She takes too long to play.
Oh, shut up.
I'm happy to watch you, Kira, but you got a deadline. Next week I'm talking about Disco Elysium, whether you're done or not.
Okay.
And then we will go to the Ether afterwards, because we'll go to heaven, because we're playing a heavenly game. Yeah. All right. Save and quit. Krista says, see you. Thank you for dropping by, Krista. Depending on how you feel about spoilers, I would recommend the first half of stream if you want to watch the VOD of that. I don't give away the super big spoilers, but obviously I talk about parts of the book you haven't gotten to. If anyone wants to join the Discord and ask about my book, I'm happy to talk about it. You can also just join the Discord in general. You can also support the channel by just watching the Cinema Fallout show. Kira and I put a ton of work into it, and it is the best Fallout material you'll ever see.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. See you next time.